Hello guys, welcome back to the next Chum and Son video. I am Chum, this here is my son. Today we are going to be talking about the X-Men films and maybe mention some of the comics and some other things. We're just going to be talking about some of our thoughts about the films and what we would do to improve and some of our favourites, some of our least favourites. And do you want to start off?
Yeah, I do. I got into the X-Men comics back in the 1990s, probably the early 1990s, and I thoroughly enjoyed reading them. There were some great stories, Days of Futures Past. You know, your mind just goes blank.
Phoenix Saga?
The Phoenix Saga.
Wasn't part of Civil War to do with the X-Men, in the Civil War
the
comics?
Civil War comics. The X-Men were in the Civil War comics, but I didn't read that. This is probably before that, to be honest with you. There's tons of stories. Sorry, I've got a big knot in my dog's head. Yeah, I've just pulled it out. It's got a huge knot. To cut a long story short, I really enjoyed the 90s comics, and I think like a lot of us, we're also familiar with the X-Men because of the 90s cartoon as well, which came out, which was absolutely excellent. It was way ahead of its time, and it made us all very excited. I've always had a passion for the X-Men, a huge passion. What's that? I'm trying to think. I'm talking, and I've got this story, like the Savage Land and things like that with the X-Men as well. There's loads of stories. No, there's one that's an absolute favourite of mine, and I'm kicking myself, so I can't remember what it is. Crumbs. Why is it?
What does it involve?
It's heavily to do with Magneto, but there was just so many good stories in the comic. I'm not going to harp about the comics. We're talking about films. Chum and Sons don't necessarily talk about comics. We talk about films.
We can talk about comics.
I could do one of the days, but like I say, my memory's awful. I mean, we're going back to the early 90s, so when I just left school, and I'm 41 now, so we're talking a long time. So I'm going to forgive myself for that. But let's talk about the X-Men films, right? When I think it was probably 1999 to 2000, there was an announcement that they were going to make an X-Men film. I was just like, what? You know, it was such a great bit of news. And they went and made an X-Men film. This was the first time I'd ever seen the guy who plays Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. It's the first time I saw him in a film. And yeah, I think I watched it when I was working abroad. It was like me and my mate went and watched it in one of the bars, and I thought it was I was so excited about it because I thought, wow, they're gonna bring the comics to the film, and the first film was actually pretty good. It started well, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the director at the time, I'm forgetting everything today, but the director at the time, he was quite a well-known director, did The Usual Suspects. And you've got to excuse me today, I'm a little bit tired. My brain's not quite right.
Can't remember what his name
I can't remember anything at the moment.
With the X-Men films, all I know is Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds and that.
Ryan
that's
Reynolds,
it.
he was in the Wolverine films, though, wasn't he?
He's in Deadpool, which is good.
But you can't remember seeing the first X-Men film, can you? You have seen it.
I mean,
sorry.
I think I remember them, but
it.
I've seen them definitely, but I just can't quite remember all of it. Yeah, but I mean, I can remember them, but not too well. I mean, it's mostly I'd say whatever's come after X-Men First Class, sort of.
Really?
I mean,
that's what you remember the most. Stuff after X-Men First Class.
Yeah, like that. And
do you remember the third film? Because you got X-Men.
Oh yeah. I kind of remember the third one.
Yeah, I mean,
that
was the one where Magneto moved the bridge, and
I remember that one.
Xavier got blown up.
Which is the one where the Phoenix sort of.
That's the one. Yeah,
that's the one.
They decided to do the Phoenix Saga in it. To cut a long story short, it was bad. But everyone hated it. Everyone hated what was it called? X-Men 3.
X3.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
I really should have just. Oh Christ, what's it called?
I don't know. Not important.
The Last Stand.
That's
X-Men,
it.
The Last Stand. Right.
Because it wasn't The Last Stand.
And it wasn't The Last Stand, but X-Men. Basically, the first film was quite good. I did enjoy it. You'd got a few characters I didn't like. certain aspects of it. They made like Mystique a bit of a martial artist kind of acrobat thing, which I Mystique, and she was with Magneto, and they had Magneto's gang, and you had like a Sabretooth character, which I thought we'd see in films to come, because he was great. They had Toad. So yeah. But then X2 came out, and they brought in Nightcrawler doing martial arts stuff, and like at the beginning of the film, and dear me, that was a good film really in the most part. I've seen it recently. It doesn't hold up very well at all, but at the time it was amazing. Do you remember that?
I kind of remember Nightcrawler.
X2 where Nightcrawler at the beginning attacks the president? Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh yeah, I remember that scene. That was good.
Everywhere. Wow,
yeah,
they really did nail that. And I like The Last Stand. It was slagged off quite heavily. Bryan Singer, that's the director. He directed the first two films, and then they got another guy in for the third film, who I consider a very good director, whose name will come to me in a little while, I expect. But there was a lot of things wrong with the third film. Like I say, these are all spoilers in our video, so you know, if you're watching this and you've never seen them, well, sorry. But yeah, in the third film, Xavier blows up. You've got Vinnie Jones playing Juggernaut, which is just
yeah, that was weird. But,
I love. I mean, in the comics, and even in the 1990s cartoon, which is probably one of the most loyal adaptations. He's the most loyal adaptation of a comic on screen. You know, the cartoon, they always are. Juggernaut is Xavier's stepbrother and bullies him, and he's not a mutant either. He's kind of like a superhero, but not. He's a super villain. He gets his power from a gem. He has to chant these words. It's a gem or a rune or something. Chant these words, and he gets the power of the Juggernaut. I bet you didn't know that, did you?
I thought it was like his helmet, like something to do with his helmet.
Nah, he wears his helmet. Listen to this. He wears his helmet so he can avoid. So Xavier can't.
That's it.
Control his mind, because like that's his thing, isn't it? Like he would never beat Xavier in a fight if he wasn't wearing that helmet. You know, Xavier's got no power over Juggernaut because he wears it. It blocks out, you know, Xavier's psychic powers. And then after The Last Stand, you had. What film was after that?
After that wasn't it?
Did they have that Origins Wolverine film?
Oh yeah, of course it was Origins Wolverine.
You went to the cinema to see that when you were little-ish.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
At the time, I mean, I don't remember much at the time. I remember at the time, this was when I was really young. It came out, I was like, yeah, that was awesome. But then, like, I watched it again. Well, I say recently, it was a couple of years ago, but I still remember it. And yeah.
It's a dreadful film. It's one of the worst films I've ever seen. Wolverine's claws are like this long, and it's like if they should put some back in, he wouldn't be able to.
And also, Deadpool's not Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool's Ryan Reynolds, but not Deadpool.
Yeah, it's like
he's something else entirely.
Like I don't know, he can teleport, which is not what Deadpool can do. He can get like swords on his hands, which is not what Deadpool can do. He's got no mouth, which is not what Deadpool has.
Yeah, it's bizarre. They kind of like at the beginning of the film, he's just Ryan Reynolds like doing like loads of skills.
And then they should have just kept him like that.
Yeah, I know. If they were going to go, we can't put a mask on Ryan Reynolds. He's far too handsome. They should have just had him as like Deadpool, but with a human face. That would have been all right.
I mean, it wouldn't have been great, but it would have been better than what they did.
It would have been a bastardisation to the to the character. But it would have been... Is that even a word, bastardisation? I think
Probably.
It is. I've used it before in a sentence.
Yeah.
But I could have forgiven him for that. But that was just a terrible, terrible film. And in that origin story, Wolverine gets his jacket at some point, and like he gets his jacket off old people and his bike, and like he loses his memory. And essentially, how does he know later on that jacket's his? Because he loses his memory at the end of the film and gets shot in the head. But then in the other films after, he's wearing that jacket. It's just like jacket origins. It's ridiculous. But and Will.i.am was in it as well.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Yeah,
he could teleport. And there was a guy who could make lights shine.
Yeah. He was in Lost as well.
Big whoop.
And Lord of the Rings. He could make light. He could turn light bulbs on. And then what was after that?
There was like after that one,
Origins Wolverine all pretty much killed the franchise. For
Origins Wolverine. Yeah, and then there was First Class, I believe.
First Class. Now you saw that, didn't you? In the cinema?
Yeah, I'd say it was better than Origins Wolverine.
It was better than all the films.
I think it was good,
I
to
liked
be
it
honest.
better than X2.
I liked it.
There was a lot of dodgy kind of like when Banshee's flying and that, and you could tell he's on a wire and like it wasn't the first class that I wanted. Even that film was silly. Like it always makes me laugh in these films with Beast because in the Last Stand, Beast in that is Fraser from the Brett Show. He's a brilliant Beast, but then they bring in this kid who's in About a Boy to play Beast in the later film, and he looks like Teen Wolf, and he wears clothes. Like, all right, give Beast something. When Beast wears like underpants in the comic, but he's wearing full clothes. It's just like if you had like loads of fur. You wouldn't really wear clothes, or you'd wear the minimal amount. It'd be like Rusty wearing printing like jacket and trousers now. And
all they needed to do was make like a blue, hairy, short Hulk.
Yes,
sort of.
I suppose he'd look silly though. I suppose
it would look a bit
his
silly.
His body would look really stupid. Whereas they could get away with the face. The face looked. He was amazing, but they introduced you to Beast, and they brought in Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Mystique, who we wouldn't have guessed this later on, kind of destroys the franchise a little bit because of how famous she becomes, which often happens. Fox seem to have this habit of making people successful and overusing them. They did the same thing with Hugh Jackman in the early films and the late films. And
yeah, I mean,
Hugh Jackman, it's too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Hugh Jackman, throughout all of the X-Men films, he's been sort of prioritised. I'd say in the later ones, not so much.
In Days of Future Past, he's in
Days of Future Past, he's in
it.
But
he doesn't steal any scenes in
nah,
that.
But and also, I can get why he is. I mean, when I heard it was like, oh, only Wolverine can go back in time, I was just like, oh, of course he can. But then when I sort of heard the explanation, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, because, I don't know, his brain cells can heal faster than they're destroyed or something. So he can go back years. But, X-Men, what's it? We were on First Class, weren't we?
We got to First Class. First Class was good. It was a good... Although I thought it was going to be a reboot of the whole thing, it wasn't. It was just taking it back.
Yeah, it was literally just the origins of it, which, I don't know.
And it was confusing because at the end of Origins Wolverine, you see Professor Xavier...
Standing up as an old person.
Standing up as an old person, as like a CGI Patrick Stewart, a really creepy looking CGI. And then you see him as a young man played by James McAvoy with hair, and also being able to stand up. The end of that film annoyed me because in the end of that film, James McAvoy gets shot in the spine and loses his ability to walk, whereas Xavier loses his ability. It's Xavier or Xavier, I don't know, but Xavier loses the ability to walk because of his psychic power. He makes him immobile because he's so powerful. So that's why he's in a wheelchair. But that's that's not believable. We'll shoot him in the spine. But then, what was that? Then did they do Days of Future Past?
Yeah, they did Days of Future Past where he could walk because he took this drug that took away his sight. So it's sort of what you just also what you just said about him being disabled by psychic powers. That was sort of true. Although, I was wondering how can a drug that stops cancels out the mutant gene for a bit? How does that allow someone who's shot in the back and is paralysed from the waist down to walk?
Oh, that's a hole. That's a plot hole straight away,
isn't
it?
How?
Yeah, that's a plot hole.
Because it's already said that it's stated after First Class because, Charles Xavier sort of says to Wolverine that he remembers him from the bar. Because Wolverine has a quick cameo in First Class where he's in a pub. And then they go over to him and he asks about him and he says a bad word.
Go beep yourselves.
Yeah.
And then he puts his cigar back in his mouth.
Indeed he does.
This was still when they could show superheroes smoking and drinking. and they brought in Days of Future Past now.
Yeah, Days of Future Past.
There's loads of that. What it was, Bryan Singer got the franchise back and he was like, I'm going to try and fix the poor timeline. Because basically these films are mad with the fact that timeline's a piece of shit. It's rubbish. It's all over the place. There's a chart online. You can look at a chart and it tries to figure it out. And I don't think it does. Or it just makes it look as ridiculous as it is. I think it just highlights the flaws in it. It's more holes than that. Most holes than Tom and Jerry cheese. Tom and Jerry cheese. It's just awful. But
also, with Days of Future Past, I mean, I'm all right on understanding time and that and where things take place. But then what really threw me off guard, bearing in mind at this point, spoilers by the way, both Cyclops and Jean Grey, they're both dead at this point. At the end of the film, they're brought back to life. However, it's set after the third X-Men film.
Yeah.
The Last Stand. It was set after that when they'd already died.
No, but it changed the timeline.
It changed the timelines to mess that up. So that what they sort of did there was try and cancel out like the original films.
The third one,
like,
just
the third one,
just the one that Bryan Singer hadn't made. And
yeah, they wanted to get rid of the third one.
Yeah,
although there's
because that third film killed a lot. It killed off Cyclops and Jean Grey as well. And just so I said earlier, I quite like that film, but actually no, it's just. But Days of Future Past, the scenes in the future were amazing.
Oh yeah,
you saw Bishop and
saw all sorts of people.
There was like just some amazing characters.
There was that metal guy?
The Colossus.
Colossus. And then you had that woman with the portals. That was basically like the Human Torch for the X-Men.
Her and her brother, they're like it's like a American Indian. I've forgotten their damn names. But yeah, fantastic. Yeah. And you got Iceman there as well, and people like that. And those scenes in the future were amazing. And then when you went to the past, they were all right. You got to see it's a really good scene with Quicksilver in.
Oh yeah,
and it was a good scene. They just made it irritating in the film after that. But in that scene, it was great. I like Days of Future Past. Before that, I was thinking, look, I want the MCU to take the X-Men franchise. I want them to have the X-Men.
I wanted that, and I wanted them to like restart it as well.
Yeah, and then they brought in Days of Future Past, and I thought, oh, okay, like I know what they're trying to do. I'll stick with this. And then they made. Did they make Deadpool before they made that one with
X-Men Apocalypse?
I
believe so. Yeah, I believe it was Deadpool then Apocalypse.
All around the same time. Deadpool.
It was around the same time.
Deadpool, although not directly connected to these films as such, was a terrific film. It really was. We'll talk about that separately another time. It was like he just walked off the page into a film.
Yeah,
it was silly and he was irritating and he was everything we ever want in a Deadpool film. It's an excellent film and it saddens me to think that it's connected to these other films that are just substandard and okay.
Also, one thing I want to say, like in that film, there's a lot of like satire and fourth wall breaks and all that sort of stuff, and they're done really well. Like that sort of comedy can be very hard to achieve, but they did it really well. Like taking them like. Like earlier on in the film, you see Colossus with this girl who can like charge up and like burst at people or something like that. You see them, and then later on, he goes to the X mansion, and only them two are there. And then he sort of takes the mix, sort of saying, "Oh, you two seem like the only two people that they could afford," or something like that.
Yeah, he's
like the studio could afford. And then Colossus is just like, "What are you on about?" But like there's constant sort of like fourth wall breaks and satirical jokes, though they don't overdo it. If you know what I mean, they sort of come where relevant.
Even that film though was inaccurate because he got a full CGI Cyclops who was permanently metal, which he is, and he can change back to like flesh, but. They made him Russian, which is great because he wasn't Russian in the other films. So it was good in one sense that they made him more like the comic book Colossus, but he never changed back into a human. And I don't know, there's pros and cons to that, man. But like the actual film with Deadpool was bloody amazing. Do you want to add anything to that one, mate?
No, I'd say everything's...
Because I think after we talk about the films, we need to talk about certain characters. But basically, I just want to sort of go on about Wolverine a bit then.
Yeah.
Because, anyway, what was it? X-Men Apocalypse. You went to the pictures to see this. This is the one film that you and your mum went to see without me, which is a superhero film. I don't know where I was to miss it.
No, I can't remember.
Went and saw it without me. Somewhere. I was like, go and see it because I wasn't that arse. And you thought it was okay, didn't you?
Yeah, I came back and I was like, it's all right.
Yeah,
I know, but like,
I know. I went to see it afterwards, and he looked like Apocalypse looked like Ivan Ooze. Like it was. I watched a review from another YouTuber, and she sort of said it was X-Men Hair Apocalypse because no, X-Men Hair Origins. That's what it should have been called because in the film, like Storm's hair changes, Professor X loses his hair, and there's someone else whose hair changes. There's like 3 characters I think whose hair changes in the film. And it's like, this is Hair Origins, it's not Apocalypse. Apocalypse himself was dreadful, and like there was a scene about regarding like Magneto, which was great. I mean, he's great in every film, irrespective of who the actor is who plays him, and the same with Xavier, whether it's McAvoy or whoever, and Lee McKellar and whoever, you know, whether it's either of them. The young and old versions of them are great.
Oh yeah,
you know,
definitely.
And there was some scenes in that film involving Magneto, and that brilliant, you know, big kind of revenge story. But like you got Psylocke in it. I'm a big fan of X-Force as well, and she was just barely doing anything in it. She looked like a cosplayer. It was just awful.
I mean, there are a few characters that you can see that are introduced in that. I mean, also one thing I want to say, Nightcrawler was in it. But he might as well not have been. Like, he didn't really do much.
No.
Like, he was in, like, a fight scene, in a cage fight that was kind of alright. And then after that, I don't know, he just sort of slid into the background a little bit. Not too much. And I don't know, like, the whole story with Nightcrawler and, like, the kids at the X-Mansion sort of turns into one of those, like, I don't know, one of those teen high school films.
Yeah.
Where they're like, oh, it's the new kid, we got to introduce him to everything and like everyone that's around. And it's like, oh, all right. And I don't know, it's all right. But I mean, what am I about? Well, I mean, the film itself is all right. Also, there was another one of those because in Days of Future Past, when they introduced Quicksilver, he had that that memorable scene where he was running along like punching everyone, pushing the bullets out the way, and everything. Like whilst listening to this sort of music thing, but like they sort of did that again, and I don't really see why, because in the first one it was kind of funny, and it was like, I don't know, it was something that was very like iconic and sort of, I don't know. It was a very good addition to that film. Whereas in this one, it sort of felt forced.
It did. It went on for ages as well, and it was like,
they milked it as much as possible.
You think if you can do that, you could just literally you could just achieve everything with Quicksilver. It just made no sense. It's made him too powerful. Really, he saves every single person from the X-Mansion from an explosion. Every single person,
except for one.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, really annoyed me. But yeah, that was an awful film. And I keep thinking they wouldn't need to bring the X-Men to the MCU, but I don't know whether I want that, to be honest. I used to want it, but I don't know. But like, and oh yeah, I suppose we could mention Logan in this.
Oh yeah, Logan, that was a really good film.
It was, but it was like watching EastEnders.
Oh, it was really sad.
Not that I watch it, but it's depressing.
It wasn't like EastEnders.
You've never watched EastEnders. I'd never get you to watch that filth, horrible, shitty program. I found it.
I wouldn't compare it to EastEnders.
I watched it in the cinema, and it was a lovely film in the sense of the word that it was emotional. And
it was very heartwarming at points.
It was hardcore. It was
very sad.
Rated R, but it was depressing as hell. And I watched it. I've bought it on Blu-ray or DVD. I can't remember. And I tried to watch it again, and I just couldn't watch it. I thought this is just there's just nothing fun about it. Really, there's a few jokes here.
But yeah, there's like some moments of humour, and like there are really good, really brutal like fight scenes. But it's like the story itself, it's really sad. I would definitely recommend watching it. But yeah, I don't know. Take some tissues with you. It's very depressing, and
it's the best X-Men.
It's very
film.
good.
It's the best Wolverine film, and the best film made connected to the X-Men, I'd say. Although I love Deadpool as well.
Yeah, I mean, Deadpool and Logan, I wouldn't necessarily like say one's better than the other, because they're both really good in different ways. Because Deadpool is a very like comedic film, and is a very like I don't know. It's just comedic really. Whereas Logan is more like sad and like dramatic.
Ask me how I'd fix the X-Men.
How would you fix the X-Men?
I'd make a TV show book called The X-Men. The minute there's about three TV shows connected to the X universe, right? and on different things.
Is
You've
there?
got there is. There's that one that we watched that was all weird. You know, the one where he's in the mental home.
Oh yeah, that one. Legion. That was
Legion-
good.
Legion's
that was weird, but it was good.
That's good. Legion's good. That's connected to the X universe. There's another one at the moment on Sky. I think there's a third one knocking around somewhere, and it's kind of like just make an X-Men series, dude. You know what I mean? Just
I mean,
and
isn't
have
there
all
going to
the
be
big
that like
characters in
New
it.
Mutants on
New
Netflix?
Mutants. That's X-Men. Yeah, that's gonna have Wolfbane in it and people like that.
Yeah.
Is it Wolfbane? I don't know, but like it's gonna have. It is connected, but just make a damn X-Men series.
Yeah.
Like, forget the films. Big budget series, sort of budget like I wouldn't, up there with Game of Thrones budget. You know what I mean? Just because people, the thing is, you've got to milk this. You've got to milk this superhero thing for as long as possible. And TV now is making a ton of money. So forget these crappy films with crappy timelines. Start again. Films are awful. Just stop doing it. Stop making them now. You made Logan. Logan was a good film, and Deadpool. You can carry on making Deadpool films if you like.
Deadpool's
Facts.
brilliant.
Make Deadpool films, but for just make a TV show. And yeah, you know what? The thing is about the X-Men. Here's the thing. And I like this about the X-Men. They're a dysfunctional family, right? And there's a lot of soap drama in it. There's a lot of it's not just superhero action with the X-Men, and this is why I liked it. I had a grown-up feeling about it when I was reading his as a youngster. And there was people having relationships, and the way they spoke to each other. They spoke to each other very grown. You could almost say they were grown-up comics in some ways, in a lot of sense, with some of the things that they tackled. And it was all about prejudice and things like that, Whereas everyone loves the Avengers and that. No one seemed to like the mutants for whatever reason, even though they were exactly the same. They were like, they had powers.
Weird.
They had powers, but for some reason they were hated. Avengers,
Freaks of
yay!
nature.
X-Men, oh, you freaks! You were born with these powers.
There's nothing you can do about them. No.
People who have accidentally got your powers, we'll celebrate them. But no,
Other people that are born with conditions
If
in
you're
the real
born
world,
with
we
conditions-
feel sympathy for and we have
Yeah,
charities
it's
for.
completely
But
backwards.
mutants, no.
completely never made sense in Marvel comics. It still doesn't to this day. It doesn't make sense that the X-Men are hated and they've got the same powers as, it's ridiculous. But anyway, can we do a time check?
26 minutes.
Oh,
27
crumbs,
minutes.
man. We're only going to do
We're
20
aiming
minutes.
for 20 minutes.
We're crap
but
at
sorry,
this. We're
not
crap at
very
this.
good.
Right. Let's do a quick thing, right? Because the big things about these X-Men films is basically Hugh Jackman, who
Yeah.
I absolutely love as Wolverine, but he's too damn tall. He was, but he is good. He is good. I'll give him his due. What do you think of him?
I think he's... Well, I mean, as an actor, he's good. Especially in Logan. He was really good in that. I think he has been a good Wolverine, but as you said, he is a bit tall.
He's too damn tall. He's taller than me. I look, and I'm more like Wolverine than him. I'm hairy. I'm kind of a little stumpy. Wolverine's 5 foot. Is he 5'2" or 5'4"? Like in the comics, right? Colossus does a cannonball move on him. He throws Wolverine into things. Like Colossus is massive. It's this big metal thing. He throws Wolverine into things. They tried to recreate that in the third film, and he just looked ridiculous. He's carrying this massive bloke like a plank, and he just kind of throws it. It looks awful. So yeah, we need to. If they ever bring Wolverine back, which I don't think they should do for a few years, but if they do. Then he needs to be small. He's small and hairy. Not me. I'm no good. I'll be no good as Wolverine. Like I'm talking about a proper actor, but like a small, hairy one, or an unknown.
Next thing you know, we'll have...
and he needs to be about 40.
we'll have Brian singing, knocking on our door.
Yeah, he needs. No, I know he's going to be knocking on. We need someone. Wolverine should be an old man. Like it cracks me up now. Hugh Jackman's retired. Hugh Jackman's retired from being the character now, but he's probably at the right age. I mean, that's the hilarious thing about it. He's probably at the right age to be this gruff old man. He's an old, fairly good-looking, really hairy, tiny man. That's what Wolverine is. And Hugh Jackman, as he gets older, would be more like the character. It's just makes and like Hugh Jackman leaves and he goes, who'd make a good Wolverine. He starts naming all these young hunks. He doesn't understand the character at all these other 6 foot tall. Wolverine's not some bloody supermodel superstar. He's a little hairy brute. What do you have you got any opinions of that?
I think you're right there. Just needs to be short, hairy, and like a bit like handsome looking, just a tad. Just don't overdo it though. Don't make him like a supermodel.
There you go. Got it. Right, yeah. big hair like that. I can grow my hair like that. Like got big sideboards.
Can you?
Yeah. I can, but like I say, I've got like monkey bum hair. But we're talking Hollywood here. They could sew some hair in or something. I could have,
Sew some hair in. You know how?
That's how they do it. That's how they do hair implants. I'll implant hair into there. I want to ask you a question, son. Jennifer Lawrence, right? She started doing the X-Men films and then she became really famous and won Oscars and stuff.
Yeah.
So she thinks she's too big for these films now, but she does them anyway because she's very charitable like that. But she refuses. She hates wearing the makeup of Mystique, so they'd let her just be human for most of these last couple of films she's been in. And the same.
Can you blame her though? I've heard that it's apparently really warm.
It's a job.
Dad, think about it.
And
You're
it's the
wearing
same
this
in the
rubber
guy-
suit. You're sweating like hell.
It's the same as the guy who plays Beast. But no, they shouldn't. They're playing characters. They're not playing themselves. They're playing characters. They should wear the makeup for the money that they're getting. She'd have got millions for them films, and he would have done Nicholas Holtz. That's it. They shouldn't. They should wear the makeup. God damn it! Who do they think they are? Me and this guy here. I would give an eye to be on one of these films, or a finger, or possibly a whole limb. Not my arms.
I mean,
my
that
legs.
wouldn't look very good on telly, but
No, after the film, I'll be like, right, you've been on the X-Men now. Give us your left leg. I'll be like, fine, thank you.
all right.
Rather be on the MCU, but that's fine. I'll do that.
Yeah.
What about you? What body part would you sacrifice to be in one of these films? Is there a body part, or aren't you as bothered as me? That's a silly question, really.
I don't know. I probably have. Like, I know what I'd do. Right. I'd be in it if I could get my appendix removed. It's literally just like a ball. It's like a ball in you that could just explode and poison you.
This is why you're the brains of this operation. Your appendix. Yeah, I'll have my appendix removed. Actually, you could remove my wisdom teeth. They're a bit cramped up here. Or maybe some nostril hair. Yeah, there's all sorts of things you could do. I mean, I was actually going to lose my left leg, so I haven't thought that through at all.
Just lose my appendix.
Well, we could have just took a hair from you, or an eyelash. Oh, too late. Anyway.
Meanwhile, you've got the saw chopping off your left leg. Like what?
Yeah, already killed. We've just talked about the X-Men.
It's only like 32 minutes.
We've covered probably very little, really. But we've like I say, 32 minutes is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're gonna. What do you want to? Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Now we need to sign off now.
Sorry about my knowledge of the comics earlier. I forgot all about it, and I still can't remember that particular series of comics that I absolutely love. But never mind. I don't care. And don't anyone try and guess what it is because I'm not interested. Flynn, have you got anything you want to say before we go?
No, not really. Just leave some of your thoughts down below on some of your favourite films in the comments. Like some things that you liked, some things that you didn't really like too much. Give this video a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want, because we do all sorts of stuff like this. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video, I guess.
Yeah, there's a poll. Do I look too young to be Flynn's dad? Even though I'm son in this context of the world, I don't know what I'm on about.
What are you on about?
Anyway, I think I am. Anyway, thank you for tuning in, all three of you. Anyway.
Alright, see ya. Bye.
Bye.